question, and I think we've seen this journey, right? When we talk about transforming banks or any of these institutions, we've done this in the past, and not very far in the past. We talked about cloud migrations, talking about cloud-ready engineers. Do we have enough? All of us went, and started looking at the market. Then we thought it was easier to kind of actually train them in-house on, various of the cloud platforms, or certify these engineers and get them ready for what is next. At this point in time, I think AI is rather nascent, right? So all of us are investing right now, looking at multiple use cases from a banking standpoint. I know we have hundreds of use cases in various areas across consumer bank, investment bank, payments, cross-border payment, all of the areas that you can think of from a banking standpoint. And we are convincing ourselves about the fact that yes, AI is here to stay, and it's going to give us substantial benefits across each one of the areas. In terms of getting talent ready, at this point we have a lot of COEs that we've set up, where we have an AI Center of Excellence that is really working on these use cases to ensure that we have the right ROI. We don't have a specific program at this point yet within our organization to actually train people on AI, but we are definitely looking at that space. And I think I would rather build a lot of in-house talent, and see what we can do with probably influencing curricula in some of the institutions to see if they are going to have specific AI-ready courses, so that when guys come in, they're a little more ready to handle the problems that we would have.
Interesting, because I think Jayesh Ranjan in his keynote also mentioned something similar, saying preparing the academic background in and around Hyderabad, in this case in Telangana, is a critical part of the journey. Even in tier 2 institutes and tier 3 institutes, to build that talent so that organizations like yours can play a role. Mamata talked about creating this, having this sort of consortium, banking and banking talent. So I think that's an amazing set of initiatives between government and business that's driving the creation of the talent.
Yeah, I think so. And I think we did this journey just very recently, as I said, with cloud. And I believe it'll be very similar on AI as well.
Excellent. When you talked about, measuring, and you said faster, better, are there any specific set of measurement parameters that you put into space, or you would like to put into place, because you worked across multiple such GCCs in the BFSI sector, MasterCard, JP Morgan, now here with Lloyds. What are your parameters of something which is, like we said, experimented yet deep tech in defining success for it?
Yeah. So typically, I think all of us, anybody in the software development industry, talks about a few parameters that we look at. Are we able to increase productivity? Are we able to ensure we have a healthy backlog? Do we have what's the sort of churn in the system that we have? How many times are we rolling back code? What's the MTTR? So these are things all of us are constantly looking at measuring. And from the time a requirement comes in to when you actually have it deployed in the hands of a customer, what's that sort of timeline that we have? And many times you would have seen that for everybody that's developing, I think the last 2 hours, we realize that there's some bug that we have, and we have to roll back code, right? And we can't release that to market. And what happens in the process? There's somebody else that's actually releasing it one time, and you lose out that particular market opportunity or window we have. So it's not really about releasing this feature to market, but I think we've lost a larger opportunity as far as the market is concerned. So anything to do with AI as well, I think the measurement criteria would be no different. Is it giving me benefit in terms of, am I giving the right solutions to customer? Is it easing a customer problem? And how is it helping me to create a robust solution that I can push to market? I think the measurement criteria would still remain the same, but it's really about using something else to actually get to that point. So AI to me is that enabler. And I don't think there'll be separate measurement criteria for AI, but this is just my individual perspective.
No, perfect, and it makes sense, because I think to a large extent the measurement criterias are very aligned with almost any new technology that you draw in, right? And they're always going to have the same questions about how do you have ready talent, how do you measure it, how do you define success on it, and so on and so forth. But like you said, creating small COEs, driving that experiment behavior and being able to measure.
Yeah, AI, I think, and agentic AI have their own other things that we'll actually have to look at, which is very, very strong governance that we would have around these, because they do play around quite a bit with data. Maybe AI not so much, but when it comes to agentic AI and it's taking its own decisions and deciding on what the next is, there, to me, that's still extremely scary at this point in time. And being BFSI, I think we think twice before.
Yeah, you probably think
we
twice.
need to be really sure before.
You twice, thrice, 4 times. You're dealing with people's
money.
Yeah. So it brings in an important point here when you talked about rolling back code. One of the areas that the industry has been very keenly aggressive about is SaaS, low code, no code. Our partners here, they provide mobility solutions, but they are ultimately a SaaS technology platform. We at Humanize are all about trying to drive SaaS deployment faster and low code, no code. How are GCCs dealing with it? With your experience of having worked with it, are they adopting it? Because most of the time they're big organizations adopting to these changes, and do you see that as a clear direction that you and the leaders would like to follow?